Hey, what's going on? Luke here. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the World Cup, and we're going to be talking about the Soccer Football World Cup and the Rugby League World Cup, and do a little bit of a comparison in regards to the Socceroos up against the Australian Kangaroos. Maybe just talk about the actual World Cup in general. Now, I want to say, the Rugby League World Cup was a fantastic tournament. In the end, we saw a lot of absolute blowouts. We saw a lot of not really too many surprises. A lot of the favourites ended up winning and winning well. Whereas in the Soccer World Cup, in the Football World Cup, we have seen quite a few upsets. We've seen a tournament that has kind of been looked at as a success, maybe not the location-wise, maybe not country-wise, but just in terms of the actual football being played, it's been a success. We've seen, like I said, a lot of upsets. We've seen a lot of competitive games, that we didn't think would be competitive too, and we've seen teams like Australia move into the knockout stages. And I sort of wanted to do a little bit of comparison in terms of just talking about the Australian side in both football and rugby league, and so to just talk about why, in a sport that we absolutely dominate in, why did nobody care up against a team, that probably makes as much money, if not more, than this rugby league side, yet we look at them as the underdogs, as like the gritty side, and sort of the underdogs, the go-getters, and talk about just like why did we support the Socceroos so much but couldn't give a shit about the rugby league side. So I just want to say first off, congratulations to the Socceroos, obviously made it to the knockout stages. In my lifetime, pretty much of watching, I think I've seen them not make it once, like in terms of me, like in my age, I'm 27. For the most part, though, we've been making it to the World Cup year after year, but we haven't really had any success. We've sort of been going over there, getting smashed. It was kind of just known that we're going to get smashed. It took some Timmy Cahill efforts to sort of get us a goal, maybe just some lucky goals here and there, but we've never really been competitive at all. We might have won a couple of games, but we weren't really a threat of actually making it past the group stages, apart from the 2006 season, or tournament, I should say. So pretty much every time we went over there, it was like, oh man, come on, please get a win. And I will say, I feel like a lot of our squads in the past have had a lot more bigger names. We've had some Premier League players. We've had, some players playing around the world. Whereas this year, it didn't really feel like that. We kind of had a lot of nobodies. I'll be honest, before the tournament started, I looked at the squad. I remember saying to my mates, I'll let you know, like Aaron Moy, Matt Ryan, and like Jackson Irvine and Lecky, and a lot of them guys are pretty old these days. So I only know like a handful of them. And by the end of it, I was going, oh my God, look at Duke scoring, like how good's this side? This side is amazing. So yes, I guess you can say I'm a bit of a bandwagoner, as was most of the country, and this is kind of my point. This is what I'm trying to get on. There's no one bandwagoning for the rugby league side. No one cared. I feel like the players obviously cared, but in terms of the general sort of viewers, like I'm a rugby league supporter. I didn't watch any of the World Cup except for the grand final. It was literally the only one I watched. And look, it was a great grand final. Samoa obviously made it there. I guess Samoa probably represent more of Australia than what Australia represented, if that makes sense. I feel like Australia, we always look at ourselves as the underdogs, and how can we be the underdogs when we're absolutely smashing everybody? We go into the tournament as favourites. The only other ones who could really compete with us on paper were England and New Zealand, and we beat New Zealand in the semi-finals, and they never really got going. And England were the home side. They were going all right, but then they got beat by Samoa. So going into the grand finals, almost like, it was just meant to be, like, we're just going to smash Samoa, and that's pretty much what happened. Whereas you had the Socceroos going over there, we're like, oh, I don't know, what will happen? Like, the intrigue of, can we get a goal? What can we do against the world? Like, it was a proper World Cup. And it kind of just shows you the power and the effect that an actual World Cup can have on a sport, because you get people who don't normally, like, I would say soccer, football, like the fact that we're calling it soccer right here. I'm just going to say soccer from now on, but you know what I mean, football. Don't get on your high horses, but I'm just going to say soccer just make it easier for the video. So the fact that we say it's soccer, I think it says a lot about, soccer, football in Australia, but it also just shows you that like we had a lot of people who were prepared to watch because it's our nation, because it's our country, going and playing. Just look at the Olympics. Look at the Olympics every year. There's so many sports that people couldn't care about, but because it's our nation up against the world, we want to see what they can do. Whereas at the World Cup, we had a whole bunch of players who, the Australian side, it was good. We knew they were going to win. We knew England was going to be all right. We knew New Zealand was going to be all right. Samoa and Tonga, a bit of a toss-up. They could maybe sort of push it, and obviously they did. And then when Samoa actually did push it properly, then all of a sudden there was a little bit of intrigue. We had The Rock doing messages. We had some NFL players doing some messages. Suddenly we had a little bit of the world taking a look at the World Cup. But it just shows you that if the NRL is to develop, or not the NRL, the Rugby League, like international game, that's probably the way to actually develop the NRL, to develop rugby league in general. The NRL is only going to be the NRL. Like, it's only going to be as popular as it is probably right now. It's not going to improve a hell of a lot more. What we need to do is sort of get it worldwide. And I feel like the Soccer World Cup, the Football World Cup, shows you how many eyes can be on a world event. And yet, like, we don't really have a world event. We had a couple teams who were playing, out of the European countries, and, we had all the Islander sides, and the most interest came from all of the Islander sides and all the European sides, you know what I mean? Like, you had all the England sides, you had your Scotlands and all that sort of stuff. They've always sort of been a little bit of intrigue. It's pushing into new markets that I feel like the NRL and, just rugby league in general doesn't want to do, but it shows you how beneficial it can be. Because, like I said, look at Australia, case in point. We're not a soccer nation, yet when the World Cup comes on, everybody's watching it. I'm getting the boys over. We're getting up 5:30 in the morning, making bacon and eggs, and drinking our coffee and being half asleep, but we're watching it. I wouldn't even get up for the rugby league games, and I'm a rugby league fan. There's my point. And we can't really sit here and say like it's too big of an underdog story as well, because like I said, it's not like these guys are short of cash. These are guys who are, being making a lot of good money, more than what the rugby league guys are on. We talk about the NRL guys being well paid. Soccer guys definitely well paid. Maybe not in regards to the rest of the World Cup, but they're definitely not short of cash, is what I'm trying to say. So can't even look at them as like blue collar or anything like that. It's just, I think it's the fact that we didn't know they were guaranteed win, and we wanted to get behind them. Whereas the rugby league side, what was the point? They're going to win anyways. We don't need to support them. In fact, I was more supporting Samoa. And I feel like a lot of other people like that as well. We just wanted to see someone different win it. Australia just wins the World Cup every year. The one year that New Zealand won it came off, Australia playing like shit and throwing random passes from Billy Slater, things like that. I feel like a lot of intrigue and interest is going to come from there being some more nations other than Australia, New Zealand, and England. And the fact that a team like Samoa got to the grand final, I think, it is great for the game. But they're just comparing the two. Like, it just seems weird to me that we look at the Socceroos and we're like, oh, wow, guys, like, good job. You got to the knockout stages. Yet we have a team that actually won the World Cup. And we're just like, doesn't matter. Don't really care. It was meant to happen. And it just shows you the difference in attitudes. The difference, I don't know if like Australia has a little bit of elitism in terms of like rugby league, where we're just like, oh, well, we're better. We're not going to lose. Doesn't matter. I don't know if that's the case, but I don't know. I just thought I'd do a little bit of a video just comparing the two, comparing the attitudes, because I know myself, being someone like, I definitely got on the bandwagon of the Socceroos, and I've watched soccer a lot in the past. I go for Liverpool. I have watched it in the past, but just in terms of this crop of talent, didn't know there was a lot of talent in that side, and I don't even know if there still is. I don't know if we just got lucky or what's the case, but definitely a great World Cup to watch. Even now that the World Cup's over, I have more intrigue. I have more interest watching the rest of the tournament than I did watching the actual Rugby League World Cup. And like I said, Australia is knocked out, so it does show you that soccer is the world game, but rugby league can also become a bit more of a world game rather than just Australia and England. You got NRL and you got Super League. I'd love to see them branch out a little bit more. But guys, let me know in the comment section below, what were your thoughts of the World Cup? What are your thoughts of the Socceroos? What are your thoughts of the Kangaroos? Is there any good comparison for some players or anything like that? I don't know. Let me know in the comment section below. What are your thoughts? Anyways, guys, I'm going to wrap things up here. Hopefully you did enjoy this one. Hopefully you can leave a like on it and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Also make sure to go ahead and use the notification bell. Don't rely on the sub boxes. Use the notification bell and never miss any of my videos. Also, while you're at it, go ahead and chuck me a follow on social media. It's on the screen right now. It's Mr. Luke and YT for the most part. My Facebook's Mr. Luke, but everything else, including Snapchat, including TikTok, is Mr. Luke and YT. Give me a follow, give me an ad. And that's where I'm going to wrap things up here. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned for more content on the channel. We've got Christmas coming up. Going to be uploading a little bit, so stay tuned for that. And I'll see you some next one. See yous.